All right, y'all, we are back with another video. I definitely had to bring y'all this. It seemed like at this point that Jasmine Crockett feel like she can just say whatever she want. And this is what I said in my last video where I was talking about Pam Bundy. I want Pam Bundy to crank it up a little bit. And I like Pam Bundy. I think she's doing an incredible job. But when it comes to like AOC and Jasmine Crockett, the way they running their mouth, they trying to help illegal aliens. I need Pam Bundy to start putting these women in jail. Tell them they gonna have a court date. Like, you gotta do something. Because at this point, Pam Bundy can't keep saying, hey, Jasmine Crockett, AOC, I want y'all to apologize, because they not gonna apologize. It's like every single day, Jasmine Crockett is just turning it up. Now, you know what I'm saying? She was telling people that, like protesters, make sure y'all take down Elon Musk. Make sure y'all keep going after Teslas. And now today we found out that 3 bombs was found at a Tesla dealership right after Jasmine Crockett said, make sure y'all keep on taking down Elon Musk and take down Tesla car dealerships. Now they found 3 bombs. Not only that, Jasmine Crockett made fun of Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who's in a wheelchair. Pretty much, I mean, it just don't make sense. This man's in a wheelchair and she's talking about him. Like, this is the crap. This woman is promoting violence. That's the reason why I said, if Kamala Harris was in office and let's say a Republican was doing that, she'll be trying to throw him in jail. We know what they'll be trying to do. Just like they were trying to put President Trump in prison. What I want Pam Bundy to do, I want her to crank it up. Like I said, I love Pam Bundy. I believe she's doing a great job. But when it comes to AOC and Jasmine Crockett, I want her to make an example out of them. You know, well, you gotta go arrest them, send them to court, do something so they can stop with all this promoting the violence and helping illegal aliens. That's what I want Pam Bundy to do. So like I said, y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. That way y'all can stay up to date with everything that's going on. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight into it. And not only that, the DOJ then went after the Democrat judge, you know, the one that was trying to tell Donald Trump to turn that plane around and drop illegal aliens back in the United States. Now the DOJ ain't falling for that crap. Without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead and dive straight into it.
Yesterday, Jasmine Crockett doubled down on her unhinged behavior. This prompted the Attorney General Pam Bundy to demand an apology. If you haven't seen it for yourself, take a look.
You know, after she said that about Elon, she said, well, I didn't mean violence, but however, your words have consequences. And what happened after she said that about Elon Musk, she's a Texan in her own home state. After she said that, this morning, 3 explosive devices were found in Austin, Texas.
Wow.
So she needs to unequivocally denounce the violence. She must apologize immediately, not only to all Texans, but to our country, to the American shareholders of Tesla, because she is promoting violence. And then you showed the clip of what she said about Senator Cruz. I believe she probably will be censured by Congress for saying that.
So I don't believe she'll be censured by Congress.
See, forget that right there, Pam Bundy. Lock her up. Forget all this apology crap. She's not going to apologize. I think Pam Bundy said that the other day that she wanted Jasmine Crockett to apologize. It's like the more she keeps saying apologize, then you will see Jasmine Crockett going to rant saying, I'm not going to apologize. I'm going to keep turning up what I'm saying. Like, something has to be done. Forget this apology crap. Because her and AOC them is not going to apologize. They're going to keep talking crap about Elon. They're going to keep promoting violence. That's just what they're going to keep doing. Something needs to be done about this so they can stop.
Understand where Pam Bundy is going with that. And you guys already know where I stand with the Attorney General, okay? I just want action, all right?
That's what I'm saying.
Giving Jasmine Crockett so much attention, all right? Now, you guys know you've seen her quite a few times in my videos because we're talking about the news, right? And we are giving you our common sense take on it. But that doesn't mean people like the Attorney General needs to be wasting her time talking about someone like that. I mean, who is Jasmine Crockett exactly? A low-level representative in the House of Congress? I mean, come on, people. Let's focus on higher priorities.
You know, people don't learn. She's using her public persona, her public platform to increase her followers, to increase her significance, and she is threatening lives, safety. You know, when she did this at Tesla, Sean, people's lives are in danger. This is America. We're in a free country. And she's yet encouraging this violence in our country. Think of all the lives that could have been jeopardized in Texas just today by her words and what she's done. But she didn't stop with that. She continued on with Senator Cruz. She has to apologize immediately and denounce the violence.
Finding 3 bombs at Tesla dealerships in Austin, Texas. You should be seeing every single Democrat come out and condemn that immediately. And it's just unfortunate we're not seeing that. In fact, what we're seeing is congressmen trying to make excuses and spin why Jasmine Crockett has been speaking the way that she's been speaking. Take a look at this.
Very briefly.
Well, let me introduce to y'all right here. His name is Jamie Ratskin. Not Raskin, Jamie Ratskin. Because you know he finna go ahead and take up for Jasmine Crockett.
Sir, your Democratic colleague, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, said, quote, "All I want for my birthday is for Elon to be taken down," referring to Elon Musk. The Attorney General connected those comments to attacks on Tesla, and she says, quote, of Crockett, "She needs to tread very carefully." Is that a threat?
Wow.
It sounds like it is, and they're certainly making those kinds of threats against Democrats all over the place. I mean, what's so interesting is how extremely literal-minded they can get when Democrats are using common metaphorical parlance to talk about political struggle. But when Donald Trump says, you got to go and fight, and you got to fight like hell where you won't have a country anymore, to a mob of tens of thousands of people that he summoned and directs them over to the Capitol, they think that
they can see what I'm talking about. Keep on talking about a mob, but yet they up here blowing up like Tesla car lights, throwing Molotovs through the window. I mean, how can y'all sit up here and keep talking about the Capitol building, January 6th? How can y'all bring this up and look what Democrats been doing ever since Donald Trump won? You got Democrats getting out their car, vandalizing people who's driving their Teslas. I mean, blowing up the charger stations, throwing Molotovs through windows, shooting through Tesla windows. So how is you going to bring up January 6th when y'all are doing this? I mean, these people are straight hypocrites, man.
It's purely abstract and metaphorical language. So I could take it a little bit more seriously if they used one standard for adjudicating political rhetoric.
Now, according to the logic of Democrats, they would call that saying washing, right? That's him trying to clean up her comments and spin it in a way where, you know what, he's not actually holding her accountable, especially during a time where it's their base that are now planting bombs at Tesla dealerships. Now, if you don't believe me, it's getting this crazy. Here is the report on that. Take a look.
This new Tesla task force announced hours after police called the bomb squad to a Tesla showroom in Austin, Texas on Monday. Police said they found several incendiary devices meant to start a fire. No one was hurt or arrested, but that showroom, one of nearly 90 Tesla showrooms in at least 10 states, vandalized in recent weeks. Several people are facing federal charges. President Trump on Monday continued to describe these violent acts as domestic terrorism.
But I think they're going to suffer very grave consequences because they're really terrorists when you think about it. They're terrorists at a high level.
All right. Well, number one, we know Jasmine Crockett will not apologize. So I guess, you know, don't hold your breath there, Pam Bondi. Secondly, this situation's getting really crazy. It only takes someone to truly get hurt or lose their life, and then Democrats will actually talk about it and start condemning it with some real seriousness.
They just ain't gonna say nothing now.
And that is also the media. You know, MSNBC is not covering this whatsoever.
They ain't.
All right. And
see, MSNBC is not going to cover it, but let it would have been Republicans saying exactly what Jasmine Crockett is saying right now. Oh, they'll be talking to CNN, ABC, all of them be talking about it. But when it's their side doing it, oh, they just going to ignore it. They ain't going to say anything, going to act like it don't even exist.
That's why Pam Bondi needs to make an example of the people that have been arrested. Really put them on blast.
Make an example out of them,
here
man.
is Jasmine Crockett also doing what she does best, which is continuing to double down and deliver more unhinged takes.
So let's get into the drama. Number one, I only found out yesterday that the Attorney General for the United States decided she wanted to come for me when it was clear that in the message that I delivered to all of those that are absolutely feeling like they want to raise their voices and make sure that they exercise their First Amendment rights, Yeah, I actually told them to consult legal counsel before they did so, because every municipality has their rules about, where you can protest, how you can protest, things like that. And it's perfectly allowable to do. But this is something that I've done for a very long time, is advise people on how to protest, how to engage in exercising their constitutional rights and evade any type of issues. So the idea that someone would try to threaten me with criminal prosecution.
Threaten you with criminal prosecution? Ma'am, look what you're saying. You telling people to take out Donald Trump. I mean, not even just Donald Trump, even Elon Musk. Right now, you've been going after Elon Musk a lot, but you even said the same thing about Donald Trump. So what you mean threatening prosecution towards you? You need to be. Because you need to stop promoting violence. Y'all went on this rant talking about Donald Trump in January 6th and then turn around, look what y'all doing. But then want to cry victim. That's the reason why I said, man, I want Pam Bundy to crank it up and make an example out of them. Forget this apology crap, because they not going to apologize. You can see right here, every time Pam Bundy come on television and say that Jasmine Crockett or AOC need to apologize, this is what they do. They just come back with another video just pretty much saying, I'm not going to apologize and I'm going to crank it up even more. That's the reason why I said in the beginning, I want Pam Bundy to crank it up. She got to start making an example out of them. She got to do something else. Forget this apology crap, because that right there is not working.
Prosecution is really telling us a lot about where this country has decided it wants to go. So
yeah, if we're talking about priorities, she's not at the top of the list to be criminally prosecuted. Everybody knows that. Let's find those people who are, one, funding this terrorism on our own soil, and two, the people participating in this level of terrorism. So I think that's definitely at the top of the priority list. Now, before we get to the second story about President Trump and the DOJ invoking the State Secrets Act, in other words, they're telling the judge to stick it, I want you to do us a favor. If you're getting value from this video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you do want to support this channel further, go to the links in the description below, shop our merch store, or you could buy us a cup of coffee. Here is an explanation on what the DOJ is doing by invoking the State's Secret Act. Take a look.
They're saying is they're using the United States versus Reynolds in 1953, which is the state's Secret Privilege Act. And essentially what they're saying is, if we were to tell you, then we're going to show you how we gather the intelligence. So when you got federal agents that are in chat rooms or undercover with Trinidad and other foreign terrorists or cartels, if we turn that into court, then the defense, which work for these people, are going to turn it over to the enemies. And so you're going to put our officers as well as our intelligence gathering at way. And so essentially, there is nothing the judge can do right now. It's going to go to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, so everybody knows this is going to the Supreme Court, and we'll get the final verdict on this entire debate. And that's why when you have these rogue judges, which I'll link to the end of this video that you should watch,
and then we just find out that Chief Justice Roberts is pretty much getting paid by George Soros. So if y'all haven't seen that video, make sure you go on my channel and check that video out. We covered that Chief Justice Roberts was never a supporter of Donald Trump, but we kind of find out who he really, really is. So that video is on the channel. Make sure y'all go check that out.
In these crazy comments, such as comparing what President Trump was doing by deporting these TDA gang members to Nazis. And when that comment came out yesterday, we actually thought the judge was referencing the Holocaust. Well, apparently, that's not what the judge was referencing. I'm going to allow CNN to kind of explain what the judge actually meant.
The Nazi comparison that the judge made today, I was listening to the oral argument. The point the judge was making is the last time we as a country used this Alien Enemies Act was during and after, actually, World War II, where Germans who were suspected of being Nazi sympathizers were given a hearing before they were loaded onto planes, before they were deported. And that was really the key question at today's oral argument. What process, if any, are these people, in this case, the Venezuelan gang members, entitled to before they're shipped out? And the thing that I found was interesting is the Trump administration lawyer even said they are entitled to some due process. It's through this thing called habeas. It's not the greatest form of due process, but the Trump administration is on record now saying they are entitled to some form of due process.
Ultimately, I'm not a legal scholar here, and I'm sure the Supreme Court will define if there was enough due process here or not. But that's not even really the issue here or the controversial take. It's what these progressive and liberal hacks are continuing to do on this subject. They're not debating the merits like I was just talking about. They're calling what President Trump is doing inhumane.
This could have been solved in a regular immigration process where we would have seen, hey, you're a member of a gang, you can't come in. Right. Hey, you're not a member of a gang, you're welcome to come in.
Tiffany?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it don't matter if they in a gang or not, but if you are here illegally, you still don't supposed to be here. What are you talking about? Just because, also, you want Donald Trump to accept, like, okay, if you in the gang, if you not in the gang, you can stay, but you still here illegally, though. Like, these people are sick, man. These people will be thanking Joe Biden if Joe Biden was doing what Donald Trump is doing. They will be thanking Joe Biden. I mean, this is just crazy.
I don't think that is how it goes. And if we want to keep talking about the Joe Biden administration, then we can rewind time. But the fact of the matter is, when Donald Trump was in office the first time, he was a champion of separating families. And as a result of that, John, I just want to say over 1,300 children remain lost. I do not trust this administration.
We're talking about the Alien Enemies Act here. We're talking about using this wartime powers to extract what they call gang members. But there is still a human rights issue. And the way that these people are treated is completely inhumane. And the fact of the matter is, if these were white babies being stripped from their families, if these were white men with families, there would be a whole different level of humanity extended to them. And I don't see that happening. The way these people are treated is absolutely criminal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, number one, she claims that President Trump was the champion of separating families. She gave the number 1,300. Now, let's just use her logic against her. 1,300 versus 300,000. Do you really want to play that game? That's the first thing. Secondly, stop using race. This has
see, this is what people always do. They always use race. So she pretty much taking here's the thing. So what about Lake and Riley? What about the girls that lost their life because of these illegal aliens? But she talking about, oh, look how Donald Trump treating these illegal aliens. But she ain't talking about how the illegal aliens been treating the American people and what they did, taking loved ones from people's families. But she ain't talking about that. They always want to bring up race. That's the reason why they're going to continue to lose. I'm telling you.
Nothing to do about race. This has everything to do with America's safety and sovereign. When the last president opened up the border, he allowed a mass invasion. Part of that invasion are people who don't care about our safety. They're looking to wreak havoc here. So we got to get them out of here. And let's not forget about the 63% of Americans who has been demanding President Trump to solve this issue and get him out. Now, here's what Scott Jennings had to say in response.
I mean, obviously, there's a huge dispute between the executive branch and the judiciary over who's got what authority to do what here. I think the Trump administration has an argument to make. It's not going to be sorted out at the district or even Court of Appeals level. At some juncture, because it is a serious separation of powers issue, the Supreme Court has to step in. By the way, you invoked the word inhumane. I would just point out that I don't think Jessica Nungare or Laken Riley or any other victims of some of these illegal immigrants and gang members, they weren't treated very humanely. And I think what Trump is responding to is an outcry from the American people to solve this issue, to get the criminals out.
Thank you, Scott Jennings. Oh, my God. But now you see how she over there? Mm-hmm. But see, she won't, and I just literally said that. So she didn't want to talk about Lake and Riley, what happened to them. She want to talk about how Donald Trump is treating illegals who don't supposed to be here. And now she over there, mm-hmm. I want to take that back when Scott Jennings, that's why I like Scott Jennings, man. He tell it like it is. He tells it like it is.
Invoke the word inhumane. I would just point out that I don't think Jessica Nungare or Laken Riley or any other victims of some of these illegal immigrants and gang members, they weren't treated very humanely. And I think what Trump is responding to is an outcry from the American people to solve this issue, to get the criminals out. And that's what they're doing. That's what they believe their mandate is to do. And I think there are legal arguments to be made, but you cannot deny that the American people are giving them the benefit of the doubt when it comes to exiting from the country these animals.
No, it all makes sense, Scott.
There you go.
But here's the issue. People on the left don't want to give any attention to these animals, right?
They don't.
They want to give attention to these scare tactics because that's how they control their base, right? They strike fear in their heart. For example, they want you to believe that President Trump is seizing Americans without due process and deporting them. Keyword, American citizens. Take a look.
I'm concerned about how they are conducting their immigration deportation policies, seizing of American citizens without due process. While we know that many of these people may not be American citizens, they are immigrants, whether they are here illegally or through the process, we rely on our rule of law to ensure that every individual is afforded whatever the law has given them the rights to. And by handing them over without adjudication, that is extremely troubling.
Okay, well, what's extremely troubling is how much attention and energy you guys spend on this very issue, claiming that President Trump is deporting American citizens, but you don't have any receipts to back up that statement.
Exactly. They ain't got no receipts. They just going to keep saying it because to them it sounds good. But we know Donald Trump ran on saying, I'm going to get illegal aliens out of here. Everybody knows it. Democrat knows it. He said he was going to do it and the American people voted for it. So now all of a sudden, these Democrats trying to install these corrupt judges to try to stop Donald Trump's agenda. And that's not going to work.
Now, you might find American citizens that have been detained in the process of ICE finding people who are illegal aliens. But that is a far cry from being deported. Everybody knows that. Now, this brings me to the question of this.
Well, there we go right there. Salute to Devory Darkins. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel on YouTube, Devory Darkins. And let him know in the comment section that the real Adogg sent you. But I definitely had to check this out. As you can see, the DOJ going after this corrupt Democrat judge. And pretty much, like I said before, I want Pam Bundy to crank it up a little bit, especially when it comes to Jasmine Crockett and AOC, because they now at this point, they just feel like they're untouchable. They just feel like they can say anything and nothing is going to happen. So like I said, thank you all for watching. Y'all can let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.